Hello everyone, got a few dirty jokes for you today. So one day, little Johnny's dad gets a new job, so his family has to move to a new city. Johnny's daddy thinks, I'll get a head start on Johnny's gambling. So he calls the teacher and says, my son Johnny will be starting your class tomorrow, but he likes to gamble, so you'll have to keep an eye on him. The teacher says, okay, she can handle it. The next day, Johnny walks into class and hands the teacher an apple and says, hi, my name is Johnny. She says, yes, I know who you are. Johnny smiles and says, I bet you $10 you've got a mole on your butt. The teacher thinks that she will break his little gambling problem, so she takes him up on the bet. She pulls her pants down and shows him her butt, and there was no mole. That afternoon, Johnny goes home and tells his dad that he lost $10 to the teacher and why. So his dad calls the teacher and says, Johnny said that he bet you that you had a mole on your butt and he lost. The teacher says, yeah, and I think I broke his gambling problem. Johnny's dad laughs and says, no, you didn't. He bet me $100 this morning that he'd see your ass before the day was over. Coming into the bar and ordering a double, the man leaned over and confided to the bartender, I'm so pissed off. Oh, yeah. What happened? Asked the bartender politely. See, I met this beautiful woman who invited me back to her home. We stripped off our clothes and jumped into bed, and we were just about to make love when her goddamn husband came in the front door. So I had to jump out of the bedroom window and hang from the ledge by my fingernails. Gee, that's tough, commiserated the bartender. Right, but that's not what really got me aggravated. The customer went on. When her husband came into the room, he said, hey, great. You're naked already. Let me just take a leak. And damned if the lazy bastard didn't piss out the window right onto my head. The bartender shook his head. No wonder you're in a lousy mood. Yeah, but I haven't told you what really got to me. Next, I had to listen to them grunting and groaning, and when they finished, the husband tossed his condom out of the window. And where does it land? My damn forehead. Damn, that really is a drag, says the bartender. Oh, I'm not finished. See, what really pissed me off was when the husband had to take a dump. It turns out that their toilet is broken, so he stuck his ass out of the window and let loose right on my head. The bartender paled. That would sure mess up my day. Yeah, the fellow rattled on. But do you know what really pissed me off? When I looked down and saw that my feet were only 6 inches off the ground. So one day, Bill Clinton was out jogging and accidentally fell from a bridge into a very cold river. 3 boys, playing along the river, saw the accident. Without a second thought, they jumped in the water and dragged the wet president out of the river. After cleaning up, he said, boys, you saved the President of the United States today. You deserve a reward. You name it, I'll give it to you. The first boy said, please, I'd like a ticket to Disneyland. I'll personally hand it to you, said Mr. Clinton. I'd like a pair of Nike Air Turbos, the second boy said. I'll buy them myself and give them to you, said the grateful defender of the Western Hemisphere. And I'd like a wheelchair with a stereo in it, said the third boy. I'll personally. Wait a second, son. You're not handicapped, said the president. No, but I will be when my father finds out whom I saved from drowning. So Seamus and Murphy fancied a pint or two, but didn't have a lot of money. Between them, they could only raise the staggering sum of $1. Murphy said, Hang on, I have an idea. He went next door to the butcher's shop and came out with one large sausage. Seamus said, "Are you crazy?" "Now, we don't have any money left at all." Murphy replied, "Don't worry, just follow me." He went into the pub where he immediately ordered 2 pints of Guinness and 2 glasses of Jameson whiskey. Seamus said, "Now you've lost it. Do you know how much trouble we will be in? We haven't got any money." Murphy replied with a smile, "Don't worry, I have a plan." They downed their drinks. Murphy said, "Okay, I'll stick the sausage through my zipper and you go on your knees and put it in your mouth." The barman noticed them, went berserk, and threw them out. They continued this, pub after pub, getting more and more drunk, all for free. At the 10th pub, Seamus said, "Murphy, I don't think I can do any more of this. I'm drunk and my knees are killing me." Murphy said, "How do you think I feel? I lost the sausage in the 3rd pub." So these 2 little boys are sitting in the living room, watching TV with their parents. The mother looks over at the father with a wink and a nod toward upstairs. The father gets the message, and they both get up and head towards the stairs. The mother turns back to the 2 boys and says, "We're going upstairs for a minute. You 2 stay here and watch TV. We'll be right back, okay?" The 2 boys nod okay, and the parents take off upstairs. The eldest of the 2 boys is old enough to know what's going on now, and he gets up and tiptoes upstairs. At the top of the stairs, he peeks into his mom and dad's bedroom and just shakes his head. Back downstairs, he goes back to his little brother. "Come with me," he says. And the 2 little boys tiptoe up the stairs. Halfway up, the older brother turns to his brother and says, "Now I want you to keep in mind, this is the same woman who used to bust our ass for sucking our thumbs." So, a guy goes over to his friend's house, rings the bell, and the wife answers.
So he asks if his friend Tony is home.
"No, he went to the store," answered the wife. "So," he asked, "well, do you mind if I wait?" "No, come in." They sit down, and the friend says, "You know, Nora, you have the greatest breasts I have ever seen. I'd give you $100 if I could just see one." Nora thinks about this for a second and figures what the hell, $100. She opens her robe and shows one. He promptly thanks her and throws $100 on the table. They sit there a while longer, and Chris says, "They are so beautiful, I've got to see the both of them. I'll give you another $100 if I could just see the both of them together." Nora thinks about this and thinks, what the hell, opens her robe and gives Chris a nice, long look. Chris thanks her, throws another $100 on the table, and then says he can't wait any longer and leaves. A while later, Tony arrives home and his wife says, "You know, your weird friend Chris came over." Tony thinks about this for a second and says, "Well, did he drop off the $200 he owes me?" So 3 guys, 1 Irish, 1 English, and 1 Scottish, are out walking along the beach together one day. They come across a lantern and a genie pops out of it. "I will give you each 1 wish. That's 3 wishes in total," says the genie. The Scottish guy says, "I am a fisherman. My dad's a fisherman. His dad was a fisherman and my son will be one too. I want all the oceans full of fish for all eternity." So, with a blink of the genie's eye, the oceans were teeming with fish. The Englishman was amazed, so he said, "I want a wall around England, protecting her, so that no one will get in for all eternity." Again, with a blink of the genie's eye, there was a huge wall around England. The Irishman asks, "I'm very curious. Please tell me more about this wall." The genie explains, well, it's about 150 feet high, 50 feet thick, protecting England so that nothing can get in or out. The Irishman says, fill it up with water. So it was the first day of school, and the kindergarten teacher was standing in front of her class. She said to them, okay, children, before we get started, I want to make sure none of you think you are dumb. Because none of you are. If you think you are stupid, please stand up. She waited for a couple of minutes, but no one stood up. One boy stood up, and the teacher asked, now, Bobby, do you really think you are stupid? Bobby answered, well, no, but I didn't want you to be the only one standing. So, a blonde goes into a coffee shop and notices there's a peel and win sticker on her coffee cup. So she peels it off and starts screaming, I've won a motorhome. The waitress says, that's impossible. The biggest prize is a free lunch. But the blonde keeps on screaming, I've won a motorhome. Finally, the manager comes over and says, Miss, I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. You couldn't have possibly won a motorhome because we didn't have that as a prize. The blonde says, no, it's not a mistake. I've won a motorhome. And she hands the ticket to the manager and he reads, win a bagel. So two priests are in a Vatican bathroom using the urinals. One of them looks at the other one's manhood and notices there's a Nicoderm patch on it. He looks at the other priest and says, I believe you're supposed to put that patch on your arm or shoulder, not your manhood. The other one replies, it's working just fine. I'm down to 2 butts a day.